The NFL, and specifically the Bills, had a cut frenzy over the past couple days, and well, maybe that could spark some Kansas City Chiefs sightings. We'll talk about that on today's Chiefs Report. We appreciate you hanging out with us right here. I'm Jace Andrews, and man, I know it takes some time out of your day, but I'm happy you are here. So obviously, bunch of guys got cut, especially yesterday with the Buffalo Bills. Well, maybe the Chiefs could sign some of those players, as obviously now with players available, who could Brett Veach go and get right now? Because, well, guess what? They were cut. They're free agents now. There's no waiting until March 11th on this Monday. You can go get them right now. Now, I will say, once March 11th does come around, the NFL free agency, it's going to be absolutely crazy. So make sure you're subscribed right here to be up to date on the latest news for the Kansas City Chiefs and around the NFL, as if Chris Jones signs somewhere else, knock on wood he doesn't, or if somebody else signs, Mike Edwards, a Drew Tranquill, Willie Gay Jr., we're going to have you covered. We're going to talk about what that means for Kansas City going forward. So hit that sub button. You're not going to find better coverage than right here on the Chiefs Report. All right, I do want to say this before today's show. These are current free agents. As I kind of hinted at, these guys have been cut in the past couple weeks, so the Chiefs can sign them right now. They do not have to wait till Monday when the free agency actually opens. They are cut. They're not there anymore. It's done. You can sign them as soon as today. Speaking of today, that's the first guy on the list because he was cut today, and it's Justin Simmons from Denver, the safety, and he has been one of the better safeties in the National Football League for the past couple years. He has honestly been amazing, having 30 interceptions since he entered the league, which is the most, by the way, by any safety in the National Football League. Now, this report came earlier in the morning at 8:12 a.m. from Ian Rappaport saying, the Broncos are releasing All-Pro and Pro Bowl safety Justin Simmons in a move to clear up salary space. Simmons becomes one of the top free agents. Immediately, he was to count $18.25 million against the cap, now free. Now, he is what we call here in the business a cap space casualty. That's what it ultimately was, as obviously he played well and he is going to be signed somewhere and be really good. But the money that he is going to save the Broncos was more important than what he was going to be valued on the team. And, well, as a Chiefs fan, as a Chiefs guy, the Broncos are going to suck next year, as they always do. There's no point to pay somebody that much when you're going to stink. And boy, oh boy, Justin Simmons does not stink, so I'm glad he's off that team. 70 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 8 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles in 2023. But I mentioned, this guy has been a ball hawk since he's into the league. 30 interceptions, the most in his time and the most in the NFL since he has joined the league. 2023 had just 3, but the past 3 years prior, 6, 5, 5. This guy has been amazing, and the forced fumbles have increased over the past 2 years with 3 and 2. But as a safety, he has been really, really helpful to the organization. And why I think he could potentially be with the Kansas City Chiefs? Well, Mike Edwards is still kind of up in the air. I don't know if Brett Veach plans to bring him back. I don't know if they plan to kind of test out the free agency market, see if they can find someone else. As, listen, the safety depth is pretty decent. I like Shamari Connor. I like Brian Cook. And you have Justin Reid. If Mike Edwards doesn't sign back, that's okay. He was one of the better safeties in the league last year. I think he probably deserves more money than what the Chiefs can give to him. Now, that probably same statement could be said for Justin Simmons, but at the same time, you're offering something to players that Brett Veach called the Kansas City discount. Because whenever you come to play for Andy Reid and play with Mahomes, you have a chance to go win a Super Bowl. So in some ways, you could take a little bit of a pay cut to put some bling on your finger. Would you want the Chiefs to sign the Bronco, Justin Simmons? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Curious to see what you think about this. Y for yes, N for no. Would you sign Justin Simmons after he was released by the Broncos this morning? The next guy is one that I like personally. It's Xavien Howard, who, man, I love him a lot. X-Man, he has done a lot of great things in Miami. And he'd be a great Sneed replacement if needed. Once again, we talk about cornerbacks because I just do not see L'Jarius Sneed being on this roster in 2024. As much as I would like him to be, I don't think he is. The money doesn't work, and, well, the cornerback room is pretty fit by itself without Sneed, and considering his high price and contract, it's not worth it. Now, Xavien Howard, that could work. He's played in a substantial amount of games for the past 4 years. Past year had a little bit of injuries with 12 pass breakups, 1 interception, but You look back to 2020, 10 interceptions, 20 pass breakups. This guy was one of the premier cornerbacks in the National Football League, and he still brings that to the table. Xavien Howard has done a lot of amazing things, and I still think he is able to be a top-tier cornerback in the league. Now, I will say there are risks with this. There comes risk with every signing of a guy who got cut because, well, there was a reason he got cut, especially if it wasn't just a cap casualty, which, honestly, it was somewhat of that for Howard, but not exactly the main reason. He didn't have a great 2023 season, just one interception. Still had 12 pass breakups and 45 tackles, but the defense for the Dolphins just never clicked. Vic Fangio, in his first year and only year with Miami, just never really worked. Obviously, now he's off to the Eagles, and, well, he never clicked with the younger guys and the younger generation over in Miami, and I think Xavien kind of was affected by that in a lot of ways. Plus, when you add that Jalen Ramsey came back in midway through the season, there's kind of some weird things of when you add somebody back into the equation, although he may be good, it kind of changes up the dynamic. So I think he has a lot of potential left. The next guy is also a cornerback, and it's Tre'Davious White. And you kind of hear me chuckle with saying his name. And you're probably wondering, Jace, why are you chuckling? Well, because this would be so funny. And you're sitting there right now, you're scratching your head. Why would this be funny? We're signing a cornerback. Sneed may be gone. Well, you're going to want to find out because it's going to be hilarious. I'll tell you, though, in a second. But before that, make sure you're getting your Super Bowl gear because we still got this long sleeve Chiefs Niners shirt. That's 50% off at this time if you go to chatsports.com/SBLS and the slash again. You're going to get this 50% off. It's a great shirt, really good material. And honestly, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I think you want some gear from it. Even if you can't get a championship shirt, you can wear this loud and proud. Plus, again, I'll say it. I've said it on the show. The yellow Chiefs logo is so underrated, and this is one of the few shirts I've actually seen it on there. So go get it. We're going to put the link in the comments and the description of this video. Chatsports.com/SBLS for Super Bowl long sleeve because Chiefs are Super Bowl champions back-to-back. Go get this shirt because the Niners, that's back-to-back times they faced the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and it's back-to-back times they've lost. All right, why would signing Tre'Davious White be funny? Well, let's go back to the Bills and the Chiefs making a trade in 2017 that will forever go down in infamy because it was the Mahomes trade. The Chiefs received a 2017 round 1 pick number 10, trading up from pick 27. They gave that pick to the Buffalo Bills along with round 3 pick 191 and round 1 pick 22. And that round 1 pick number 10 in 2017 was none other than Patrick Mahomes. I think it's worked out in favor of the Chiefs, and, well, I don't think now because I know. Because, well, Tre'Davious White was the premier guy on that trade. He was the one that the Bills selected with round 1 pick 27 in 2017. And, well, he's now a free agent because he was released yesterday in the Bills' cap casualties with all their money problems going on up there at Orchard Park. Now, obviously, Tre'Davious White wasn't the only guy in this. There was other guys who came along in those draft picks, and, well, the Bills used that round 1 and round 3 pick to ultimately get 4 other players by trading around. Here's the guys they got, technically. This was what the Bills got in that trade. They drafted Tre'Davious White with round 1 pick 27, and then with those 3 other picks, they were able to trade for, trade back, get more picks, whatever. They ended up with Tremaine Edwards, Deion Dawkins, Zay Jones, and Saran Neal. None of these guys are with the team anymore. None of them. Literally, that's so sad if you're a Bills fan, but as a Chiefs fan, it is hilarious because you literally traded away your entire future of getting Mahomes for these guys, and they're not on your team. Besides the point, Tre'Davious Edwards would be great with the Kansas City Chiefs. He has been, honestly, really solid in his years with Buffalo. He's had some problems with not playing a full time and just a lot of different things. But overall, again, you're trying to help your depth in that cornerback room. He's had an interception each of the last 4 years, 3 back in 2020. And his pass breakups have been pretty solid. And I like Trent McDuffie. You put Tre'Davious White on the other side, I think you're probably pretty good. You can honestly stick him in a different type of role, maybe a backup as well. And I think he would fit in well. Again, he could be a valuable asset without Sneed because I love L'Jarius Sneed. I know there's all the comments. I see them. I want Sneed too. I want Sneed too. I do too. I'm not going to sit here and say ever, I do not want L'Jarius Sneed. That's not what I'm saying. But the value he costs versus what he would create if traded is just too much in between it. And I don't think the Chiefs can hold on to him. So that's why I continue to look at cornerbacks as a free agent type that I want the Chiefs to sign. Because I trust that Brett Veach knows the right path. He has drafted great cornerbacks. L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson have also been great. Echo Boydo, I think, still has some time to be great. There's just things that I don't think people could take away by keeping Sneed in rather than they get with trading him away. I want you to pick one of the first three guys that I mentioned here on today's show, with these three being the ones. Justin Simmons, Xavien Howard, and Tre'Davious White. Who are you picking out of these three for Brett Veach to sign right here, right now, today? Who is it? S for Simmons, H for Howard, W for White. Curious to see what y'all say. Get in the comments and let me know. Let's continue on here with the show, with the running back being the fourth option, and a guy who was released. Of course, Alexander Mattison of the Minnesota Vikings, who honestly got kind of lost in all the Justin Jefferson drama. He was released about a week ago now, and well, the reason I say this is because the Chiefs' free agents in the running back room are still there. You got Clyde, Edwards-Helaire, and you got Jerick McKinnon. Now, I know that everybody wants both these guys back, and I do too, and I think that may be the way that it happens. But you have to be prepared if not. And Alexander Mattison, he's a good depth option. He had 700 yards this past year. He was great in terms of average. His 2023 stats were honestly really, really solid. And I like what Mattison brings to the table in a lot of different facets. And he is a cheap and a good depth option at running back. That's what you're looking for. You have Isaiah Pacheco, and I think you could go after a Zach Moss or J.K. Dobbins to help maybe pair him up with Pacheco, because we saw this past year with the Lions having the most lethal running back combo in all of sports ever, I think, with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I would love to have something like that in Kansas City. While I do think McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if they were healthy all year, could have potentially been there, I still would like to see if they can maybe bolster up the running back room as much as humanly possible. Let's continue on here with the fifth and final Chiefs free agent target that Brett Veach could sign today, by the way. Remember, these guys are cut, so this could be a signing literally right now. But before that, Kevin Byard, who was an All-Pro in 2017 and in 2021. We're literally talking about 2 years ago. This guy was an All-Pro safety, and now he's a free agent after being cut by the Philadelphia Eagles after he was traded this year by the Titans. Now, he's going to be a cap casualty again. Money just wasn't there for what he was worth. And I think that Kevin Byard would work again in Kansas City. And I say again, Brett Veach has been very great about getting guys who I like to describe as diamonds in the rough. Mike Edwards, no one talked about him. Dude was fantastic this year at safety. And while people are probably going to talk about Kevin Byard as a more notable name, he's getting up to that age and into the area of his career where it's like, oh, is he washed? Is he not as good as he used to be? Guess what? Time to reinvigorate your career, Kevin Byard. Come over to Kansas City, go win yourself a Super Bowl ring. You'll be a part of a three-peat for the first time ever. And bingo, bango, you're getting a big contract next year from somebody else. That's all we're asking here in Kansas City. I'm looking for year-by-year basis because that's how good the Chiefs are. We're going year by year by year, and we'll figure it out as we go. Kevin Byard just needs a one-year deal right here. Get him in here. You got an all-pro safety in the past couple of years. You can go play and have him combined with Justin Reid and combined with Shamari Connor and combined with Brian Cook. That's a lethal safety depth chart. Lethal. We appreciate you watching. I know that we are pushing out great content here on the Chiefs Report, and I hope you are joining in part of it and subscribing at youtube.com/ChiefsTV, or scroll down. If you're on your laptop, a little red subscribe button, you can hit that. If you're on your phone, you're watching this way, flip it, then you're going to see that little red subscribe button. Click that with your finger. Boom. You're subscribed, and you're part of the coolest Chiefs channel on all of YouTube because we're a family here. And, well, that's all we got for you today, Chiefs Kingdom. You know it. You love it. Peace out.